I woke up to the sound of the phone ringing, shrill and loud in the dark. It was just before dawn, the kind of hour where nothing wonderful ever occurs. Caroline, my wife, stirred beside me, murmuring something before she reached for it. Her voice changed from tired to tense in seconds. "What? When?" she said, sitting up fast. I rubbed my eyes and turned on the lamp, watching her face tighten. Her dad, Victor Ellison, was dead. Heart attack. No warning. No slow goodbye. Just gone. The man who created Ellison Dynamics, a billion-dollar tech business, was out of the picture, and I could feel the ground moving under us immediately. Caroline hung up, staring at the wall like she could see through it. "He's gone," she whispered, more to herself than to me. I didn't know what to say. Victor wasn't just her father. He was my boss, my mentor, the guy who gave me a shot. When I married into the family, I became head of strategy, turning his wild thoughts into plans that actually worked. Now, with him dead, everything felt unsure. I got out of bed and made coffee, while she started making calls, funeral details, lawyers, the board. She was Victor's only kid, so it hit me quick. She'd be taking over. The firm was hers now. I should have been happy for her, proud even. I'd always told her she could do big things, even when she doubted herself. But there was this knot in my gut I couldn't shake. We'd been married 10 years, and I'd spent most of them proving I wasn't just the spouse at work. I earned my spot, late nights. Tough calls, sacrifices. As I handed her a mug, she barely looked at me, already yelling commands into her phone. "Get the jet ready. I'll be there by noon." I stood there, feeling like a shadow in my own house. The day dragged on. Meetings, with Suits weeping from her parents, a press release I helped draft. I stayed busy, played the role of the supportive husband. But that night, lying awake, I couldn't stop thinking. What happens to me now? Victor was the one who kept me in the game. Without him, would Caroline even need me around? The funeral was a haze. Black clothes, flowers, speeches about Victor's genius. I stood next to Caroline, my arm around her, but she felt worlds away. Somebody shook my hand and said how sorry they were, but I noticed the glances, like they were measuring me up, wondering what my position would be now that the king was dead. I didn't have an answer. By the time we got home, she was already talking about the company, her voice, keen, focused, excited. "Tomorrow's a big day," she said, sipping wine. "I'm seeing the board. It's official. I'm president." I nodded, forcing a smile. "You've got this," I told her. I meant it. But her eyes flicked to me, cold and swift, like she was seeing me for the first time. "Yeah," she said. "I do." That's when I felt it. A crack between us. Small, but real. I didn't know then how big it would get, or how fast. All I knew was the phone call that morning wasn't just the end of Victor. It was the start of something new. Something I wasn't ready for. I woke up the next morning to an empty bed. Caroline was already gone, maybe halfway to the office by the time I rolled out from under the covers. The house felt too quiet. Just the hum of the coffee maker. Yesterday's news still hung heavy. Victor, dead. Caroline, walking in his shoes. I should have been by her side, but she hadn't asked me to come. Maybe she needed space, or maybe she didn't want me there. Either way, I drove to Ellison Dynamics on my own. The route felt unfamiliar now, like I was heading into someone else's world. I'd spent years carving out a space there, head of strategy, Victor's go-to guy, but with him gone, where did I stand? When I arrived, the lobby buzzed with chatter. People waved at me but looked away fast. I caught snippets, Caroline's name, words like transition and new era. I rode the elevator to the top floor, stomach tight. My office was the same. Big desk, city view, reports I'd been working on, but it all felt off. like I was trespassing. Still, I sat down, pulled up my emails. Tried to act normal. That's when Brenda, my assistant, poked her head in. "She's in the boardroom," she said, voice tense. "Been there since 8. I nodded, forced a grin. "Think she's hitting the ground running?" Brenda didn't smile back, just disappeared. Something was off. I went to check. The boardroom doors were glass. I could see her before stepping in. Caroline, at the head of the table. Sharp suit, sharper words. The old guard was there. Harvey Lee, Rosa Medina, people who'd known me for years. They were nodding, hanging, on her every word. I slipped into a seat in the back, caught Harvey's eye. He gave me a polite nod. But Caroline didn't look my way. She was in her element, owning the room. I felt pride. She was good at this, but I also felt distance. Like I didn't belong. The meeting was all numbers and deadlines. Talk of legacy, a Q4 strategy. I spoke up once. Brought up a project Victor and I had planned. She cut me off, mid-sentence. "We'll discuss that later." Her tone sliced. The room fell quiet. My neck flushed. I'd pitched hundreds of ideas in that room. Now I was being silenced like an intern. I swallowed it. Stayed calm. After the meeting, I approached her. "Good start," I said. She barely looked up. "Thanks. Busy day ahead. Nothing else? No invite? No conversation? You need me for anything?" I asked. She finally looked at me. Cold eyes. "Not right now." I walked back to my office, numb. That evening, I cooked dinner. Nothing fancy. Just pasta and wine. "How'd it go?" I asked. She sat down. "Great. It's official. I'm president. Documents are signed." I raised my glass. "To you." She clinked hers against mine. Didn't smile. "You'll be taken care of," she said. I froze, fork halfway to my mouth. "What's that mean?" She shrugged. "Just what I said. You don't need to worry." It sounded like a promise, but it felt like a threat. The next morning, I woke early. She was gone. Again. The house was silent. I kept replaying her words. "You'll be taken care of." What did that mean? I got dressed, grabbed my keys, and headed to work. The drive felt longer. The building felt colder. Something was wrong when I reached my office. Brenda was there, fidgeting. "Morning," I said. She didn't meet my eyes, just mumbled and walked away. My heart sank. I opened the door, and there it was, an envelope sitting on my desk. My name in bold black ink. I tore it open. "Dear Mr. Carter, this is to advise you that, effective immediately, your resignation from the position of Head of Strategy at Ellison Dynamics has been accepted. We thank you for your service and wish you success in your future endeavors. Signed, Caroline Ellison, President." Resignation? I never resigned. I stormed down the hall to her office. People moved out of my way. They knew. She knew. I pushed the door open. There she was, in Victor's chair, calm, cool, smiling. "What the hell is this?"